Fascism, its fundamental purpose is the mobilization of the middle class, disoriented sections of the working class against the development of the class struggle, against the development of a socialist movement, against all forms of opposition to capitalism. It seeks to atomize the working class. Now, between what the aims of a fascist movement are and what it is presently in a position to do, there's a substantial difference. If one asks, has Trump created a mass fascist movement? I do not believe that such a movement now exists. Trump has many of the characteristics of, which one is familiar with in American politics and American history. He's the con man, the snake oil salesman. There's a vast chasm between what he promotes and reality. And that's evident in the slogan of his movement, "Make America Great Again." Well, what does he really hope to do? His economic and social program is sort of a fantasy, or I might say a nightmarish variation of a Norman Rockwell painting, an America that never was and never can be. I mean, the clock cannot be turned back 50 years, let alone a century or a century and a half. The global position of American capitalism and the world position of the capitalist system as a whole is profoundly changed. And the contrast between that reality and his program will become evident very, very quickly. And the very forces which Trump tries in his demagogic way to appeal to will turn violently against him as it becomes increasingly clear that what he has in mind is a savage reduction in the conditions of life of broad masses of the population. Sooner or later, and I believe sooner rather than later, that is going to become ever more evident. Moreover, fascism is a movement of demoralization, of hopelessness, of despair. That's not where the working class is at. The working class is becoming angry. And that's not just guesses. We see after a long period of social suppression of class struggle, it is coming ever more to the forefront. And we see this in the wave of strikes, the repeated rejection of contracts, which in a certain sense points to the main question in relationship to the struggles of the working class, the fact that the workers are coming more and more into conflict with the bureaucracies which have suppressed the class struggle. These are vast middle-class organizations which exist to function. They function as policemen, but there is more and more an opposition and repudiation of that. So the next period, if Trump does come to power, it will see a massive growth of class struggle, and this is going to have a profound impact on the development of social consciousness. I also want to make the following point. No one should be under any illusion, and this is tied to the arguments of lesser evilism. Well, if only Kamala wins, won't that give us a bit more time? I mean, one can make the argument that when Kamala comes into power, if she wins the election, there will be a nonstop escalation of military operations against Russia, against Iran. I mean, from the standpoint of the Biden administration and Harris, I mean, the major problem of the election is they fear a certain disruption of the political program of militarization which they have evolved. And as I've tried to explain in my previous remarks on the question of war, that is absolutely incompatible with any sort of independent movement of the working class. What must we do? Well, first of all, you don't panic. We must base ourselves on objective tendencies, and the challenge to us, and it was said very well by Lenin in his great pamphlet on imperialism, the answer to imperialism is deeper into the working class, deeper into the development of our forces in the plants, all workplaces. The intensification of the struggle to expand the scope of Marxist politics, the expansion of the authority of the World Socialist website, the ever more aggressive and successful use of social media, building our influence as widely as possible under conditions in which masses of people will certainly be looking for another orientation. I think that is, for us, the most critical question. How will we utilize the objective opportunities which are going to emerge from the development of the class struggle within the United States and internationally to build a powerful socialist movement? And one final point. Of course, there will be those who argue that now, if Trump comes to power, all those who oppose him must get together, regardless of program, by which they mean that opposition to Trump should not raise those critical social and economic questions which will alienate the liberals, which will alienate the Democratic Party. No, that's not what history teaches us. What is required is a clarification of the class issues, a clarification of program, policies, the courageous and uncompromising fight for that program. That is how you build a movement in the working class. Revolutionary movements aren't built on the basis of suppressing program, rotten compromises, avoiding harsh truths. You have to say what is. Truth is a powerful, powerful factor in the development of a movement because truth tends to be confirmed by events. And I think we're coming into a period in which we will see a growing interest in serious politics, in serious answers to serious problems. As I said, we're not miracle workers. We don't tell people that you can change the world on the cheap, that you can deal with the problems of war and fascism with bromides, with clever tricks. No, that can't be done. Our movement is a movement of history. It's been a long and complicated course, but historical events have confirmed our perspective, and the center of our perspective is the revolutionary role of the working class. That's the decisive issue. If we are correct, if Marxism is correct, the crisis which is providing shock after shock will radicalize the working class and create the conditions for the development of a socialist movement. We act upon that. And what do we have to do? Build a party, build a serious political leadership, draw the lessons of all that has happened, turn to that force which has the power to change society. And that's the working class, which is today a powerful, increasingly integrated global force. I made this point in Frankfurt. Let me repeat it now. If the ruling class has the power to organize global economy, if American imperialism can set out to globalize under its control the forces of world economy, well, the working class has the power to take that world economy. It is the global class, and reorganize it in the interests of the masses. The same contradictions which lead to fascism, lead to world war, arising out of these fundamental contradictions of private property and the nation state also creates the objective possibilities of social revolution. So that's our perspective, and that's what we intend to do, regardless of what happens on Tuesday. Our politics isn't the politics for Tuesday, it's for Wednesday and all that, and everything that comes afterwards. I just want to finally make the point. Yes, the next weeks will be very, very fraught. We'll all see what takes place. We will evaluate events as they occur. We certainly won't adopt a complacent attitude toward them, but we believe that the next stage will be characterized by increasing social conflict, and we have to base ourselves on that perspective.